new cosplay world, and we're going to talk about, I'm going to go with staffing this week. Let's go with staffing. So, why do I staff? So, I started off staffing because basically I'd been to a ton of cons, and there's so many cons that you can go to without running into the same vendors and the same events and the same guests, and kind of gets bored. Same people even. So, it's true, of course, to some extent that even now, the only thing that I will go to a convention for is the masquerade on Saturday, or at least that's my main interest. The other things is, of course, going to new conventions and going to conventions outside of my normal stomping grounds, because you get to see new interesting things, because, it's people far away. Alright, so I decided to join because, hey, why not? It was a free badge of time, and it could be interesting, could be fun. My wife was joining, hey, I might as well join with her, and we could do stuff together, maybe. So, it was interesting. You get to see kind of for me personally, interesting is the structure or the organization of a convention. And I'm not going to go into details because I'm pretty sure any of those organizations' leaders will be like, we don't want to share those secrets. But absolutely, my favorite thing to do is to watch the staffs and the organization. And the things I personally enjoy about the convention itself is I'm going to start with, on Thursday, the loading and unpacking and assembly of the exhibit space, wherever space it is, and the artist alley too. Watching the vendors and artists set up is fun. To me personally, watching them organize just like these cities over a course of a few hours, and the mad dash or craziness that's involved. So when I go to an event and I get to see that, that's awesome. I also like to see just general setup as well. One year I got to see a very, very interesting lighting display go up and even help kind of assemble it, and saw the blueprints, and I'm like, this is more interesting and elaborate than I would expect from just like general people off the street to do stuff. So it's an interesting mix match of like professional people who do this, say, on their own time, versus like people off the streets who are just like, I'm a body, make me stand by a door or do a thing or lift this or do that. And getting all those things done and being able to manage all that is fascinating. Now, it may not surprise any of you that I enjoy costuming, unless I might have a particular interest in the masquerade. So I kind of naturally went in that direction. And so the cool thing I find about the masquerade is that it's not the green room. It's not like guest relations, but it's the second best thing to seeing all of those people anyway. We are in a lot of the times the same work area as the guests or the DJs and all that, because we share the same function space. And so you get a lot of that same contact. Of course, my memory for people is shit, so hell if I know who these celebrities are. But it's kind of cool to see like wardrobe going up and all of their kind of setup and all of their personal effects and things like that, and being able to get closer to them during a performance than even their personal, say, their anyone doing guest relations. I've been reasonably close to performances doing my job, and I'm pretty happy. Like, I'm not going to go into details, but some of those ones I actually enjoy listening to while I'm working. So awesome. Or seeing proper professional costumes, stage costumes. That, because of course costuming personally is interesting to me. So like, I obviously can't touch anything, but to be like within arm's distance of professional work and be able to see that is awesome to me personally. So that's fun. And generally, in a masquerade, it would be the thing I would be doing anyway. So I get to see all my friends who compete, and I get to see what new things are being presented each year, and all that stuff that I would come to a masquerade to do, because half the fun of the masquerade for me personally is going in there and hanging out with all the other people and saying, "Oh my god, you got the coolest thing, I'm gonna touch it. Can I touch it? I don't want to touch it and break it, but I want to touch it. That's cool, it's cool." By the way, if that's one of the things I like to do when I like something, I'll touch it, because there is only a certain degree of information I can gather from visual. Having some hands-on experience will give me more information, and the desire to have that information is kind of a compliment. I don't know, I'm weird. Don't worry about me, I'm weird. So I like to touch cool things. There is also the fun of having friends who are into the same thing and being around them. And if you're into something long enough, you kind of see the same faces and you get to know them, and have kind of personal time is awesome. And that's kind of what you get from staffing. And there is some degree of satisfaction supporting the thing you enjoy. I get a little bit of satisfaction from seeing beginners come in and have a wonderful time. They're usually overwhelmed and excited, and the events, the masquerades, are the most important to them, the most impactful to them, to the beginners, and they're the ones that are going to get hooked, and they're going to be back, and I'm going to see them again, and we'll maybe not be able to establish like a relationship, but it's kind of like fun seeing people back again after you know, in future events. And new people too, because I think I've said this before, in like competitive costuming, you run into like the same people and they're my friends, and I'm happy to see you, but I would it's the spice. You want a little bit flavors to try when you're competing, rather than the same things over and over again, if that makes sense. It's fun seeing new things and experiencing new things, and that's one of the reasons why I like cosplays, because there's so many things to do that I'm never going to run out of things to do, ever. There's going to be something new and cool out there, and I'm going to want to make it, and I'm going to want to make like 15 other things too, but I'll never have the time. But staffing particularly is as far as like straight up incentives, I would say room and a badge for your time is, in my opinion, like the best compensation there in most anime conventions available. So to get a free hotel room, which is sometimes hundreds of dollars, and to get a badge, which you would pay for, to do something I would do anyway, even if I go to like masquerade, I may not be actually competing seriously, so I'm just there to be in the event and see all the cool things, and it doesn't make a whole lot of difference if I'm staffing or not, as long as I get to be part of this event that I enjoy so much. to get a badge in like a room, awesome. Deal. You got me. There's some like want to win an award, but if I've won one at an event, it's pretty much off the checklist and I'm good. That's all. I'm good. I don't need to come back year after year after year for that. So to move to staff is like it achieves the same goal, and I get awesome stuff for it. And I don't know. I have considered working for more conventions. If I have time for that, if I want to go in that direction, because there's of course other directions I could be going in. I could step away from staff. And there are cases where that is the correct thing to do. But I don't know if I want to go into that particularly in this video. There is a lot of fun to be had on staff doing that work. I just found it particularly interesting and found that location where it was the most beneficial for the organization, and I enjoy doing it myself. I'll go into other things as far as no. Let's just end it. It's fun. I enjoy it. There's things that I do that are not necessarily for my department that I enjoyed helping out as well, because we all enjoy similar things. I'm gonna end the rant before I kind of like go into a different direction, which I'm really trying not to go in a different direction with this. So I'll see you guys next time. Good times to all. Hey, looks like you made it all the way to the end. If you're interested in more new tutorials, con coverage, and other cosplay shenanigans every week, hit that sub button to get it delivered hot and fresh to you.